Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike L. Carter, market analyst, previously trading coach in London for 4 years. Been trading for a long time and also been teaching people how to succeed in trading. However, I'm here as a market analyst for XRP Ocean to give you the best possible information to make your decision about this project. Now, as a market analyst and as a previous trading coach, I really love the fintech market and what XRP Ocean brings to the table. Let me give you that in breakdown pieces. And as I mentioned before, we're going to talk a lot about the affiliate engine today so we can understand that in detail as much as possible. I'm going to be using you as an audience whenever I say something, and I want you to confirm that. You're going to use the Zoom functionality to raise your hand in Zoom to confirm when I'm asking you. I do appreciate your engagement for this meeting today. Now, XRP Ocean. If you don't know that already, XRP Ocean is a next generation DeFi platform. The purpose is to provide liquidity to the global financial market. You might wonder, global financial market on DeFi, that is happening right as we speak now. The extension of XRP Ocean is XRP Transocean. That is the company, the structure being built in the background, the ecosystem, which is now happening. XRP Transocean is aiming to be a premium liquidity provider in the DeFi space, providing liquidity to everything that is needed for this space to really grow and flourish. Now, what is the power of liquidity providers? Are you a part of XRP Ocean today? Do you have a position in the liquidity pool? Then you are part of the power of liquidity providers. If you're not, this might be interesting for you. Liquidity providing is a very interesting way of providing money to the market. And while providing money to the market is almost like a bank lending money to someone. When you lend money to someone, you want to get some interest. You want to get return on that investment. Now, liquidity providing in the DeFi space, in short LP, is really interesting because this is more of an open door than we are used to in the previous financial system. Now, what are the things that happens here and the incentives? Transaction fees. That is a very simple way of explaining what a liquidity pool is for. When someone needs to conduct a large transactions or a simple security of transactions, they sometimes need additional liquidity to get that running smoothly and clearly. When someone borrows liquidity, they are happy to pay fees on that transaction. Those fees comes back to the liquidity pool and to the performance and the community participating in the liquidity. That is called liquidity incentives. If you provide liquidity, in the case of XRP Ocean, that's the XRP token. You want something back. That is what I would guess. I mean, most of us want that when you are lending out money for a short or longer period of time. And this is a nice circle where the market needs liquidity, we provide the liquidity, and that becomes an ecosystem in itself, providing from each other. That's a good business model. Now, this is great for the market growth because the market needs liquidity to do what it should in terms of applications, protocols, and since we're talking about XRP, we're also talking about banks, payment gateways, payment providers, and even governments. Now, the traditional models. So liquidity providing is not a new thing. It's been around for many years. We're talking about approximately 150 or even more years. People giving money to someone or somewhere, and this someone or somewhere can then provide it to other people, companies, and businesses for short or long-term loans. And this is not something new. That's part of finance. However, in the old traditional model, it's complex. It's quite reserved to a few participants. That means banks, hedge funds, elite investors, and the onboarding, how much money you need to actually be part of that system is not really that easy. And the traditional models is built on the fiat currency system. That means US dollar, yen, rupee, or whatever other currencies we are working with. However, the visibility of those systems is quite limited. And the lock-ins, that means how long do you need to leave your money locked in to potentially get some rewards back, are fairly long. This is where DeFi or decentralized finance comes in. And that really breaks those barriers that has been around for a long time. XRP Transocean wants to lead this responsibly. Now, we are at a shift of the world. The shift is happening, and it's happening right now. in front of our eyes. If you haven't read the news that is coming out, I'm going to show it to you. This shift is really on the cusp of breaking barrier in this world. Now, the traditional finance, the centralized finance, or CeFi, we also call it. We talk about middlemen. That is the banks, the payment gateways, the providers. They take a lot of fees, and those fees can be extremely high. I don't know really what they are coming from sometimes, and quite restricted. Not everybody has access to those systems. If you have sent cross-border transactions, you know it takes forever and costs a lot of money. That is the old way. Has been around for a long, long time, and is now shifting over more and more into what we call DeFi, or decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is really the cusp of the blockchain evolution, started with Bitcoin in 2009. It's almost instant. That means in terms of XRP, 3 to 5 seconds. It's peer-to-peer. Might be a word you haven't heard before, but it basically means that, hey, if you send money to someone, it doesn't need to be someone in the middle saying yes or no or taking any fees. You send money, in this case XRP, to someone, that person or company or wallet will receive it. That is a guarantee if it is accepted on the blockchain. The transparency is really high. You can see every single transaction on public available websites, not tied to any company. And the cost, it's so low, I am surprised. Sometimes I wonder how it can be so small. Talk about an XRP transaction currently around, I would say, $0.00035 US. That is the price of a transaction and can be quite large anyway. The cost is very much lower, and it's open to basically anyone. There are no borders, except maybe rules and regulations set by government and depending on your residency. And as I mentioned, real time. Real time in the way that 3 to 5 seconds to actually send and receive a transaction. Really, really quick. The world is moving. Are you on the wave? Now, DeFi. DeFi, the open financial system. It is definitely more open than any system we had previously in history. And the intermediaries, that means the banks, the middlemen, other people in sort of the middle taking a cut or delaying or, different things they are doing, isn't really needed in this system. That is why it's called decentralized. Now, this is powered by the blockchain. Blockchain as a technology was born with Bitcoin in 2009. And not too long after that, around 2015, Ethereum, another project, very large project in this world, took the step and built smart contracts. If you have ever signed a contract for anything, bought a car, rented a house, applied for a job, hired someone for a job, you have actually a contract. There are usually a couple of points in the contract, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever we agree on. And if you sign that contract, we agree both parties on those rules. A smart contract is very similar. Coded on the blockchain, giving a certain functionality, a certain mechanism that we agree on both parties. Now, this sector is really growing almost exponentially. It is definitely on the cusp of breaking out, and especially in terms of adoption. Price and adoption can be a little bit different sometimes, but the adoption, how many people, companies, business, banks, governments are using it is really growing at an exponential rate at this point in time. Now, the permissionless and borderless structure gives a very interesting concept, and the transparency is extremely high. Now, we are at this shift. The old system that most of us are familiar with, it's been around for around 52 years, is called SWIFT. That is the old system that is currently the majority of the transactions around the world, especially cross-border transactions. As we all know, it is not fast. It takes a long time, between 1 to 5 days sometimes. And definitely the fees are just too high. That's a fact. It's standardized. Yes, that's great sometimes to have a standardized way of conducting things, but the operations are fairly limited. Now, XRP, with its blockchain technology, has definitely another take on this matter. Extremely much faster. I talked about it before, 3 to 5 seconds, 1,500 transactions per second, and virtually free. If you send XRP. It's virtually free. The fees are currently so small, it doesn't really calculate. There are basically no borders, and it's available 24/7. If a bank says that we close on Sundays, it doesn't really matter for XRP. XRP is always open for business. Now, this is the old versus the new, and the shift that is currently happening in the world. The top 3 cryptocurrencies in the world right now. You might have seen this before. Bitcoin, the grandfather, definitely a very great project. I have nothing against Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a fantastic project. However, sending and transacting with Bitcoin is fairly slow and pretty costly. So even if Bitcoin is right now, let me double check on my chart. I saw it a couple of minutes ago. Where do we have Bitcoin right now? $118,600. A little bit down from yesterday. However, Bitcoin is a fantastic project in my opinion for store of value. You can consider it almost like gold, something similar to a gold quality, but in digital form. And Bitcoin is fantastic for that, in my opinion. Great for investment, great for long-term hold. Ethereum, the next one in this level here, number 2 in the world today, is also a fantastic project. It was the first project that brought the decentralized functionality into the world and creating DeFi and smart contracts, 2015. Now this project has a lot of things running on it. Everything from systems in terms of financials, protocols and apps and everything around the world today. However, Ethereum is still, even though they are working on it for many years, very expensive and quite slow to send. Compared to number 3 in the world today. I'm going to show you that in live numbers in 2 seconds from now. XRP, fast, scalable, very energy efficient. And what is that I'm talking about in real numbers, real time? Let me head over to the website CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap is the Bible of cryptocurrency, in my opinion, as a market analyst and trader. This is where you can find basically every single cryptocurrency in the world today. And as you can see, we have a top list here. Bitcoin, the grandfather, 118,715 at this moment in time. This is updated, as you can see, in real time. The price is happening as we speak. Now Ethereum, I mentioned that project, currently at $4,543. Also a fantastic project. And on spot number 3, we have XRP. Now, XRP, a project, a token, technology that's been around for more than 10 years. In the crypto space, when something is around for more than 10 years, that's a very long time. If it also survives and people are actually using it, we can see here, for example, the volume in the last 24 hours. This is what we traders look at. Let's see if this project is actually used by people, companies. In the last 24 hours, $12.07 billion was transacted on the XRP blockchain. That means a lot of money, a lot of usage, a lot of people, companies, banks, businesses are using XRP. For me, that's a very good sign. When something is used, it means it gets a value. If something is used even more, it gets an even more value. And since XRP is now very established, and I'm going to tell you the great news about XRP and any previous issues they had, which is now resolved, then we have a clear sky for XRP to do its business going forward. That is the coin market cap and the live price of everything that you can see. Now, XRP was born 2012 in June. It has been around for quite a while. It's not really a new project, and as you know, many projects in this space might be using tokens that was created quite recently, maybe yesterday. That can also be great. However, when something is very new, we don't know what value or if it's going to stay around or it's actually going to be something. XRP, used by XRP Ocean, has been around for, as you can see, 2012, June. Quite some time. Not really a beginner in the cryptocurrency space. We can see here on the other side, we have Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of XRP. We have Donald Trump, the president of the USA, and Stuart Alderty, CIO of XRP. Donald Trump, president, is very positive to this evolution. And the mission of XRP was to replace the SWIFT banking system. Clear and precise. And it seems like this is now happening on a very good scale. If you talk about the SWIFT system, the money system that is currently globally distributed, transacting fiat currencies such as US dollars around the world. The volume, how much money is in that system, is fairly large. If around 1% of that volume would be transferred into XRP, to mention this slide, the price would rise at least $100. I'm not going to say that it's true or not true. However, when something like this happens, and if a system such as XRP becomes de facto used by big banks and governments, and the money we have in the current system, if that is transferred, the value of such an asset would likely head to higher levels. Now, the current price of XRP is $3.1 US. Let's see how this turns out. I'm going to show you some news to tell you why I believe XRP definitely is here to stay, definitely has a good future, and might become a really valuable asset. Now, these are the news for today. If you haven't heard it, XRP was accused by SEC, Security Exchange Commission in the USA. And for many years, this was a long trial. And it really pushed XRP down and couldn't really build their business. They couldn't really replace the SWIFT system, which was the intention. Now, what happened? As you can see on the next image here, August 7, that is 7 days ago in New York, well, actually last year, to be honest. However, this was signed finally. The conclusion: the SEC motion for remedies and the entry final judgment is granted and denied in part. That problem that Ripple XRP had from the US part is now cleared out. There was a penalty, $125 million, might sound a lot to you. However, $125 million for XRP, that's pocket money. Really great is that one of the biggest obstacles for XRP is now cleared and the road ahead is happening. A little bit step down here, you can see right after this happened, XRP, or Ripple, the company, went and applied for a bank license. XRP is stepping into the boots of the real financial world. You can also see a bit of a news down here. XRP has officially surpassed the market cap of the Royal Bank of Canada. XRP as a token, as a project, as a blockchain, well, what do you think? Do you think that this is just small potatoes and doesn't play a role in the world? Well, in my opinion, XRP are here to stay. XRP is probably going to be around as long as I'm alive, and let's see where this takes us. Now, the company behind XRP Ocean and XRP Transocean is Transocean Lab Incorporated, a US registered company. You can see the address here, Wilmington, United States of America. So this is the legal headquarters of the business. Now, we have partnerships. We are building that slowly but surely. As you can see, we have the CI community, which is a very prominent crypto and fintech and DeFi community. We have done live AMA on Binance Live, where I have been speaking and Kevin Pang, our CEO, has been speaking together with the CI community and other parties, such as the Asia Blockchain Association, Singapore Innovation Center, and we also have Tech XLR8 Asia, a great event provider. And last but not least, not long ago, 22nd of July, we were participating and sponsoring the Malaysia Blockchain Week in Kuala Lumpur. Let me show you a couple of pictures from those events. We had the pre-launch, that was in Singapore. Now in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, we had the Blockchain Week, 22nd of July. We had Kevin Pang, as you can see down here, speaking on stage to the audience about DeFi, XRP, and of course, XRP Ocean. Now, this was a really interesting event and a good turn up. Really great to see a lot of people coming up, speaking about DeFi, the adoption, and what is happening in the world of cryptocurrency. Amazing. Now, the ecosystem, I talked about that a little bit before. XRP Transocean is building an ecosystem, starting with XRP Ocean, the core liquidity infrastructure. That means the liquidity pool where you can participate if you so choose. We are building DEX and smart trading tools. That means decentralized exchange trading without centralized exchanges such as Binance, Kraken, BitGet, Coinbase, and so forth. And the team is also planning a centralized exchange integration. That is a business decision to provide liquidity to centralized exchanges and by that have a possibility to get rewards back to the community. Now, on the other side, we have the cross-chain liquidity bridge. This is where you can swap tokens. Are you holding any other tokens? Ethereum, Bitcoin, or whatever tokens you're holding. You want to swap them into XRP to participate. Well, you can do that when this is built. You can also go the other way, XRP to other tokens. There is also plans and mission to potentially build a DAO and governance layer. That means a decentralized autonomous organization. It is really democracy on the blockchain. Whenever a DAO is built and truly becomes decentralized eventually, that means everyone who is part of the ecosystem is also an owner, a shareholder of the ecosystem, having voting rights. This is really interesting in terms of cryptocurrency and the technology. I've been studying that for a long time. And to have a system that is truly decentralized and truly democratized, that is interesting. Now, a native stablecoin is also in the mission and vision. Because stablecoins, if you're not familiar with that, it's not really a great investment asset. They are always same as, for example, US dollar. One USDT is one US dollar. But for liquidity and for the transactions inside a system, it's great to have something that doesn't change in value according to, for example, US dollar. The native stablecoin is going to be implemented, backed by real-world assets such as gold, bonds, and real estate. Now, the mission and the vision of XRP Ocean and XRP Ocean is to be transparent, trackable, safe, and secure. Smart contract, the functionality inside XRP Ocean is going to be audited by cybersecurity firms down the line when everything is tested and bulletproof. The full on-chain reporting is where you can see every single transaction in and out of the account on the dashboard and on external public website, which is already live as we speak right now. The AML compliance is a mission and a vision to become slowly but surely. At the end of the day, the team wants to provide no hidden risks, no surprises, and only opportunity. Now, how does XRP Ocean work? I would say in terms of projects that are running as a network marketing project, XRP Ocean is very straightforward. You sign up, preferably using someone else's link. Someone invited you to this meeting. You sign up, you connect your wallet. The Zaman wallet is the chosen wallet by the team. Very good non-custodial wallet. You deposit XRP into XRP Ocean. You transfer that into the LP to become a liquidity provider. You start earning rewards right away. That means the next day paid out 11:55 p.m. UTC. You can track, manage, withdraw at any time with full transparency. Now, if this sounds complex for you, well, take a look at other projects. For me, this is so straightforward. I am amazed how easy it is. Now, this community program and its highlights. We're going to walk into that now. And now is also the time where I'm going to start asking you to raise your hand at a certain moment in time. Keep those eyes open and those ears peeled, all right? Now, we have a couple of highlights in the community building program. We have the LP rewards. That is the liquidity pool and what you can potentially get in rewards in XRP from the pool. We have the community rewards. That is the network building side. We have generational leadership bonuses. And we also have a global reward pool. What we also have is a zero risk policy. That means protecting your principal investment from start, and you can take it out at any point in time in 3 to 5 seconds. Now, let me dive into this a little bit further. The LP rewards. This is what you can potentially get in bonus rewards from participating in the LP pool. If you deposit into XRP Ocean and into the LP, you start earning those rewards. And if you deposit anything from 9 XRP, you earn up to 0.5% on a daily basis, compounding over time. If you deposit 5,000 XRP or more, you start earning up to 0.6% on a daily basis. This is calculated with compounding. Keep that in mind, using the rewards to increase your position over time. I'm going to talk more about that and how that actually is built into the system as an auto-positioning tool. Now, the zero risk policy. This is really the pinnacle in terms of the functionality of the system. You can invest in the system if you choose, and that means depositing XRP. And when you have done that into the LP, that means the liquidity pool, you can also at any point in time click the claim button as long as you have your wallet connected. And in 3 to 5 seconds, you can take back your initial deposit out to your own private Zeman wallet. That is the zero risk policy. It protects your initial investment. And that is something really unique. And let me explain that a bit further. Because when something happens in this space, and it takes 3 to 5 seconds to get your money back, and you're still potentially making rewards every single day, I think it's quite amazing. If you think this is great, like I do you understand what the zero risk policy means? I would like you to raise your hand in the Zoom functionality to confirm that now. All right, Prince is raising his hand. That is one confirmation. Thank you very much for that. Now, anyone else? I would like to see one more hand at least. Is the zero risk policy clear? Do you understand what it means for you? All right, Kelene, thank you for that. And Prince again, thank you very much. That's amazing. If you choose to participate, your principal investment is protected. You can click the claim button, get it back in 3 to 5 seconds if you so choose. That is the protection. While the protection is running, you are getting those rewards. So when you start getting the rewards and they are paid out in XRP, the zero risk volume will slightly decrease. Because when your rewards are matching your principal investment, then the zero risk policy is done and has played its role successfully. And you are now holding a 100% risk-free trade. Now, we're going to talk about boost number 1. This is the initial boost, 4 weeks boost, as soon as anyone joins this network. Whenever someone joins, you have 4 weeks to really take care of this additional starting bonus if you choose. If you invite people, in this example on the slide, we have 6 people depositing a certain amount of XRP. Let's say you have 6 direct referrals. That is what this is visualizing. What happens if they sign up and they deposit XRP within the first week? Well, the total volume of these 6 people, direct referrals, is 1,000 XRP. If they deposit into the LP the first week, that means your position, your LP position, will increase with 500 XRP. There are limits inside the dashboard. Everything is clearly displayed. But this is a great way of boosting your position in the first 4 weeks up to 100% of your LP. And that is what that 100% comes from. If you have 1,000 XRP, you can totally get up to 2,000 XRP this way the first 4 weeks. Amazing to see that everyone, whoever joins this network, has the same opportunity in the first 4 weeks to really increase the position up to 100%. Now, what fuels this ecosystem? Well, it's you. We can talk about wallets all day, but in the end of the day, we are a community. We're building a community. This is a network community. That is what fuels the system. However, the LP, with its functionality of lending out short and long-term loans in XRP, is what fuels the system. But really, without the community, this wouldn't be really much of the business that it is today. Thank you for being here. Now, the Zeman wallet, your private wallet. This is a non-custodial wallet. What is a non-custodial, you might think? Well, you are your own bank. Sounds good. For me, that was an amazing realization when I dove into cryptocurrency around 2013. to be my own bank and to be able to control everything that happens with that bank and the money in the bank. Something great in my opinion. That is Amen Wallet, the non-custodial wallet. You can then deposit into XRP Ocean and then turn that into the LP wallet, becoming part of the Liquidity pool. The Boost wallet is where all the additional bonuses and rewards come in when you start referring people to this project. The Boost wallet is really where it comes in, and all the rewards are trickled down into the reward wallet, giving that additional rewards that you can redeem out, or you can activate the auto positioning. I mentioned that before. The auto compounding is called auto positioning, taking those rewards coming in and transferring that into the LP, increasing your position, your boost, and your rewards. That is the power of compounding. Now, we're going to talk more in detail about compressed dynamic community rewards. Bear with me now. This is going to be a little bit more technical. Keep that in mind. Listen clearly. What is the big idea here? We start with the backbone. This is the community rewards. Payout map is fixed at 12% tier 1. And then we are slightly going down 10, 7, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3. And then we are increasing at the end up to 12% again. That is a total of 100% possible community rewards. You can unlock with each track shown in this slide. We talk about self-deposit or community deposit and 5 direct referrals. The self-deposit is your position. How much do you deposit into the LP? Is it 1,500 XRP, 3,000, 4,000, or maybe 5,000 or more? If you deposit that volume, you have unlocked the entire 16 tiers. Now the community deposit might be even more interesting. That is your team, your network, your downline with unlimited depth. It's coming from the first 3 tiers. The volume is reaching 7,500, 50,000, 30,000, and 50,000 to unlock those entire tiers of 16 and giving that 100% additional boost of those rewards. To give you a small example, your tier 1 earns 100 XRP today. What is the percentage of tier 1? 12%. That means 12 XRP extra. That's the calculation. Now, your tier 2 earns 100 XRP. 10%. Do the math. Well, that means 10 XRP. As you can see, this is how the tiers works step by step. If you take tier 3, and if the person is unqualified, there are people who has not qualified for this bonus. Well, this is a compressed bonus. That means those 7 XRP from tier 3 lifts up to the next qualified upline. Nothing is lost. I hope that really makes it really clear. And this engine pays daily, scales wide and deep thanks to the compression. Now, I want to see some hands. Was that clear for you? Use the Zoom functionality, please. Thank you, Prince. Can I see one more hand? Thank you, Kalene. Great to see. Now, let's continue to the community boost. This is the second boost, more a longer term boost that you can potentially get more rewards from. How does it work? To hit small targets and double your early tier percentage. The community deposit is counted from first 3 tiers, right? Now, the boost is a short-run accelerator on top of community rewards. There are 3 doors to open. You can open the tier 1 to double your rewards. That means you have to have a direct referral volume of 2,000 XRP or more. You need a community deposit of 10,000 XRP or more, giving you an additional 24% boost of the tier 1. If you recall, that was 12%. Now it's double. It's 24%. The second step here is the direct referral volume, 6,000 XRP or more. A community volume of 20,000 XRP or more. That will give you a tier 1 at 24% and a tier 2 at 20% additional. Now, the next one, the third and final direct volume would be 12,000 XRP or more and a community deposit of 30,000 XRP or more. giving you a total of Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 of 24, 20, and 14% in additional bonus. This is about community reward, not the X bonus, which is an additional bonus that we're going to talk about very shortly. Now, as an example, with door 2 open, now we talk about the Tier 2 here. Tier 1 earns, let's say, 100 XRP in this case. And as you remember before, that meant 12 XRP to you. Well, in this case, if you have this volume in direct referrals and community volume, you have additionally double that, which means 12 steps up to 24 XRP. Instead of 12, you're receiving 24. Very great and very straightforward. Now, we're going to talk about the X bonus. This is one of the pinnacles of this program. The idea here is to qualify from X1 to X5 and take an extra cut from unlimited depth paid on differential basis. Now, the volume route targets is for X1, you need a self-deposit of 1,500 XRP or more. That is your position in the liquidity pool. You need a community deposit of 30,000 XRP or more. And as you see, this steps up for each level going higher. Now, max 33% of required community volume can come from any single wing. We need an equality in distribution here. A self-deposit of 1,500 or more XRP keeps you actually eligible to grow all the way to X5 as volume builds. You don't need a bigger self-deposit. Let me explain that even more very soon. To give an example here, let's say you are an X3 leader. That is equal to 30%. Your downline leader is an X2, equal to 25%. On 100 XRP shared volume, they receive 25 XRP. You receive the 5 XRP gap. That is the differential bonus. If no one below X, you take your full 30 XRP. Now, we're going to talk more about this in detail and how you can rank up to be an X leader, of course, X2, X3, X4, and X5 leader. The idea is here to qualify by people, not just volume. Build 3 different wings. Rank by rank requirements. Now, X1, as I mentioned, the 1,500 or more XRP and a community volume of 30,000 XRP or more. As you can see on this table here, for the X2, you don't need a bigger self-deposit. However, you need 3X1 in different wings. This is about boosting your team. For X3, 3X2 leaders in different wings, and so forth. Every step of this route qualifies you volume route or structure route. The differential rule then applies the same way. Hope that makes it very clear. Now, we're going to talk about the generational bonuses inside the leadership system. When someone in a single wing reaches the same X level as you receive an additional 7% of their X bonus. All right? That stacks up to 21% with 3 matches in that wing. So in the same wing. Now, 1 match in a wing equals 7% of their X bonus to you. 2 matches equals 14% of the X bonus to you. 3 matches means 21% total from that wing. 3 sits on top of your X bonus and the community rewards. One quick example here again. You are an X4 leader. That is the example right now. 3 teammates in your left wing are X4 leaders also. What does it mean for you? Each of them receives an X bonus of 100 XRP. As an example, you collect 7 XRP from each, giving a total of 21 XRP from that wing. Hope that is really clear. Can I see a little bit of hands here? Thank you, Manish. That's excellent, excellent. And we have one more, Kelene. Perfect. Now 2 hands. I mean, we have many people here. 2 hands is not a lot, but I will be sufficient with that today. We're going to have more webinars, but I really want this to come through clear and precise. All right. Now we're going to talk about the visualization here. So this is the power of the X bonus. The idea here is to replicate leaders across all the wings. Every same rank match becomes a new 7% stream into your rewards. Think of each match as another tap turned on. The 21% cap is per wing. You can have matches in multiple wings at the same time. Coach for 3 leaders per wing, steady X power, stable growth. Isn't that fantastic, right? Now, the final and the pinnacle, the ultimate reward of this system. If you build 3x5 leaders in separate wings, and you are then eligible for the X-Man Global Rewards. What does it mean? You get a 10% of the entire pool performance rewards. Now, this is not a small thing. This is the elite pool for balanced builders. 3 strong X5 wings make your income resilient and unlock that global share. If a qualifying X5 X bonus, now an example again, in a cycle is 100 XRP and they're in your matched wing, your X power share on that person alone would be 7 XRP on top of everything else. This is the pinnacle, and I look forward to welcome the first X-Men to the stage here on Zoom. Now, let's do a quick recap of the math here. All at the 100 XRP levels. We keep it straightforward and simple, right? Now, community day. So tier 1 earns 100 XRP. You take 12 XRP. Tier 2 earns 100 XRP. You take 10 XRP. Tier 3, unqualified, right? 100 XRP. While it doesn't go to that person, those 7 XRP, according to 7% in tier 3, lifts to the next qualified upline. Nothing is lost. The X bonus differential on 100 XRP with you at 30% as an example and downline at 25% gives you additional 5 XRP. This is the power of the X bonus. X power with 3 same rank matches in one wing, each give X bonus 100 XRP. Additionally, puts you on top of that, giving you 21 XRP, matching those 100. Now, all earnings are in XRP. Keep that in mind. No fiat currency here, XRP in, XRP out. On chain, on the blockchain. Build by volume or by structure, both ways are possible. Keep wings balanced for X power and X men. This is now the affiliate engine multi-tier reward program for XRP Ocean. I hope that was great for you too. This is now the final slides, and this is a number of instructions. Please do take a screenshot. This is the time to actually store this in your own device so you can keep it for yourself and your team members, just to make sure the information is as clear and precise as possible. I'm not going to read this for you. Take a screenshot. When that is done, let's continue to the next one, which also is very screenshot friendly. A lot of information. The tech team behind this, they really want to make the information as clear as possible. Take a screenshot, save it for yourself, save it for the team members, so you can clarify everything as much as possible. Now, when you have done that, I just want to say that starting with XRP Ocean is so simple that I believe most people, at least with a phone, could do it. You join xrpocean.com using someone's link. I would suggest that, because if you use someone else's link, that helps the community. And by helping the community, we help each other to grow even further. You start the account, you connect your Ripple wallet with XRP. If you don't have XRP, you might want to buy some. You can do that through MoonPay using a credit card or any exchange. there are many ways of buying XRP. And it's a great coin. Even if you don't want to participate in XRP Ocean, well, it's a great coin to hold, I believe. Something to look into maybe. Now, you deposit those XRP into XRP Ocean and into the LP, giving you that liquidity pool position, and you start earning rewards. Now you can refer and you can grow the network from that point, which is potential additional bonuses on top of the LP rewards. So 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, quite straightforward. And with this said, time is actually running out today. I can see that. We are not going to look into the dashboard, which we do in many of these webinars, to see the mechanism and the functionality. But I hope this was great for you, as great as it was for me. Thank you very much for being here today and enjoying this webinar, your participation and your engagement. Really thankful for that. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic day. See you very soon again. Bye for now.